Do you think we'll ever get a Pikmin 5? Well, it took us 10 years to get Pikmin 3 and 10 more years to get Pikmin 4, so does that mean we're getting Pikmin 5 in 2033? No. Or at least I don't think so. I believe we will get a Pikmin 5 and we're getting it sooner than we think. But in order to find out when we'll be getting Pikmin 5, we gotta dive deeper into the depressing history of the Pikmin series. Initially, this game was never really supposed to happen. After the striking success of Mario 64, Miyamoto and his team were anxious to make the next big hit, Mario 64 2. Wait, that doesn't sound right. More commonly known as Mario 128, which was developed for Nintendo's brand new console, the Nintendo 64 DD. Okay, I'm just reading this off the wiki page. I've never heard of any of this, but anyways, long story short, this island misfit of a game slowly turned into the first Pikmin game we all know and love today. Time to talk about sales, because that's all Nintendo really cares about. The first Pikmin game sold 1.6 million copies, making it the 16th best-selling game on the GameCube, which doesn't sound like a lot, but for its time, 1.6 mil was pretty impressive, especially on the GameCube. Unfortunately, that's where the series financially peaked for a while. Pikmin 2 released only 3 years later and didn't perform the greatest, selling only about 1.1 million copies. After that, Miyamoto and his team were focused on producing other games, shafting Pikmin to the side for a while. And after almost 10 years of no Pikmin content, you don't count, they finally announced Pikmin 3 for the Wii U. Initially, this game was supposed to release on the Wii, but for reasons I don't know and don't care enough to research, the long-awaited Pikmin 3 got delayed, but finally dropped in 2023. Little did they know, releasing this game on their least popular console would kill the franchise for the next little while. For 4 years, Pikmin fans got nothing except for this one news article where Shigeru Miyamoto himself stated that Pikmin 4 was close to completion. That was in 2015. But in 2017, we finally got it. Pikmin 4. Wait, what? 2020 was the start of the Pikmin Renaissance, kicking it off with Pikmin 3 Deluxe, which sold almost double the original. A year later, Pikmin Bloom, a Pokemon Go knockoff, launched on the App Store and did pretty well too. And in 2023, we were blessed with Pikmin 1 and 2 remasters, plus the long-awaited Pikmin 4, which brought the Pikmin series to new heights, becoming the best-selling game in the series. So right now, Pikmin seems to be in a pretty good position. New fan base, good sales, profitable merch, so I doubt Nintendo would just drop Pikmin. It doesn't make sense from a business standpoint. By looking at past trends, you can see Nintendo tried to push out a new Pikmin game within the 10-year mark. So I'm gonna go out on a whim and say the latest we'll get Pikmin 5 is 2033. Seeing how there's only a 3-year gap between Pikmin 1 and 2, I think we can say the earliest we'd get Pikmin 5 is 2026. Highly unlikely considering how complicated games are to make nowadays, but I'm just gonna use this as a reference point. Right now, we have a range of 8 years, and a lot can happen in 8 years. And before we narrow things down even further, there's one massive detail people tend to forget about: the Switch 2. Rumored to drop early 2025, the Switch 2 is supposed to be a Nintendo Switch, but again, I don't know how credible these sources are, but from what I hear, the Switch 2 is supposed to be as powerful as the PlayStation 4, which gave us these stunning and incredibly optimized games like God of War, Ghost of Tsushima, and The Last of Us 2. Meaning, whenever Pikmin 5 decides to launch on the Switch 2, it'll be visually stunning and very well optimized. But that's the thing, optimized. This is where things get weird. After digging through the files of Pikmin 4, I discovered something I've never seen before. Pikmin 4 was supposed to...
After spending a stupid amount of time digging through Pikmin 4's files, I noticed something very interesting. Something that gives me hope for the future of Pikmin. You might have seen this video over on, my second channel. Basically, word got around that Pikmin 4 was pretty well optimized. So I took that personally and decided that I was going to put that to the test and see if I can crash it. You should definitely go watch this video if you haven't already, but spoiler alert, I could not crash it. The game was so incredibly optimized that it just shook off whatever I threw at it, and I threw a lot of shit at it. So naturally, that raises the question, why? Why was Pikmin 4 so well optimized to the point of handling over 1,000 enemies on screen at once, just for the real game's levels to look like this? Pikmin 4's levels aren't made in the traditional sense. They're made up of tiny chunks that fit together like puzzle pieces and are loaded in that way. Think of it like placing blocks in Super Mario Maker. This is easiest to see in the caves where the chunks are clearly defined, but you can even see it in the overworld to some extent. Now, it's not uncommon for Nintendo to use in-house level editors to make their games. They clearly did that here, but Pikmin 4 is a special case. Everything in Pikmin 4 is built to be so incredibly modular. They gave the series a massive overhaul under the hood to streamline streamlined pretty much every step of development. I could go into many more examples, but this game was clearly built with a different mindset than the first 3 games. The programmers essentially made a playground for the level designers to just fuck around in. I can't even imagine the time it took to develop the in-house level editor for this game. Now I know what you're thinking. So Raggins, what's your point? This game was made with Pikmin 5 in mind. They essentially future-proofed the entire series by creating this beast of a groundwork that can be used in any future games. Nintendo would be stupid not to capitalize on what they made here. And Nintendo isn't stupid. Sometimes. So with all of this evidence in mind, I wouldn't be surprised if we saw Pikmin 5 release relatively early in the Switch 2's life.
So with all this evidence in mind, from the past trends of the Pikmin series to the interesting data I found in the files of Pikmin 4, I think it's safe to say we'll be getting Pikmin 5 sooner than we think. If I were to guess, I'd say sometime around 2027 or 2028, and it'll probably be a summer release. You know, being about flowers and nature and sunshine and all that stuff. But I know y'all clicked on this video for a definitive answer, so after using facts, logic, and a platypus, I pinpointed the exact day Pikmin 5 will release. Pikmin 5 will launch for the Switch 2 on December